Yo, 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 it's your boy, Big Mike Raider. And we're here for day 4 of the 30 Days, 30 Prospects feature, where today we're covering Washington University's quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., special quarterback. We'll get into it. But before we get into it, let's cue the music.
Have they ever seen another like me, living giant type? Step in your house and put my head on your ceiling. Climbed out of the bottomless pit to let the truth slip and slide off my tongue and swine dive off my lips. No longer holding on, I'm tired of applying the grip. Forget the fancy shiny rappers, I'm supplying the gifts. I feel it's only right to tell you that I'm going in.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Mike Raider, here covering day 4 of the 30 Days, 30 Prospects feature, where we're covering Michael Penix Jr., the runner-up for the 2023 Heisman Trophy. Guys, I think that this guy has been given a raw deal as far as his projections, his ability to play the quarterback position. A lot of people want to talk about injury history. A lot of people want to talk about, how he didn't do well in the national championship. I'm here to let you know that this guy deserves his respect. He deserves a respect that he's earned over the last few years. This is a resilient quarterback who's played 6 years in college, dealt with a lot of injuries. You guys know, 2 ACL injuries, 2 shoulder injuries, overcame that and went to the University of Washington from the University of Indiana. And those final 2 years as a college athlete, he threw for almost 10,000 yards in 2 seasons. I mean, he's about 9,500 yards and about 69 touchdowns and some odd amount of interceptions. But, astronomical numbers coming from Michael Penix Jr. I said this in 2022 that Michael Penix Jr. is the best quarterback in college football. And he almost proven to be that in 2023. Jaden Daniels had an exceptional year and won the Heisman Trophy. But I thought that Michael Penix Jr. was the better quarterback. And I still think that he's the better quarterback coming out of this class. The ability to read the defenses, the ability to go downfield, drop the ball in the basket right into the receiver's hands. Like, this guy does it all. And as you guys know, today at his pro day, he ran a 4.46 So that quiets some of the naysayers saying that, well, he's not a guy that can take off when he needs to. Even though he's shown it, he picked apart the University of Texas in that semifinal game, not only in the air, but through the ground as well when he needed to. And he proven it today once again that at the University of Washington, he improved his passing skills as well as sharpened those scrambling skills when he needs to. I think those injuries that he dealt with early on in his career made him a better quarterback at some point. But, guys, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into his PFF grades for the last 6 years. We're going to talk a little bit about his 2023 PFF grades. And we're going to look at where people have him getting drafted. It ranges from, as low as 11 to ESPN has him at some ridiculous number overall. But we'll talk about it. I'll present it to you. I'll present the chart given by from draftbuzz.com. Shout out to draftbuzz.com. Excellent source for looking at prospects and looking at their strengths and weaknesses and looking at where guys are fitting into this draft as far as rankings go. Now, guys, before we get into it, I need for you guys to like the thumb, hit the sub, and share with your folks. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. Michael Penix Jr. is a supremely talented quarterback with a cannon of an arm, which pops on tape. Originally committed to University of Indiana as a 3-star prospect out of Tampa, Florida, Penix's football career endured many bumps and bruises as he struggles early on with being able to stay healthy. After struggling with injuries to his shoulder and ACL at Indiana, Penix revived his collegiate career by transferring to Washington. He quickly rose through the ranks in his 2-year stay at UW, showcasing exceptional passing skills at all levels. Moreover, in the 2 years with UW, Penix scored 19 interceptions with 153.0 average quarterback rating. Specifically, in 2023, Penix earned the nod as a Heisman Trophy finalist and led his undefeated team to the national championship game, coming up short to Michigan. All in all, Penix demonstrated resilience, determination, and a passion for the game throughout his collegiate career, solidifying his reputation as a standout prospect in the 2024 NFL Draft. One of Penix's strengths is his arm talent. Penix possesses a strong and accurate arm, allowing him to make tight window throws and stretch the field vertically. Additionally, another strong aspect of his game that many pundits do not give Penix enough credit for is his mobility. His agility and quickness enable him to extend plays with his legs, evade pressure in the pocket, and pick up valuable yards on the ground when it is needed. Penix's impeccable football IQ is also likely amongst the best in this year's draft class. Penix demonstrates a deep understanding of the game, often making smart decisions under pressure and effectively reading defensive coverages. Lastly, add the fact that he's a clutch performer in big games, showcasing the ability to drive in high-pressure situations while delivering clutch performances when his team needs him most, and you got the makings of a special prospect. Despite these weaknesses, Michael Penix Jr. possesses immense talent and potential, making him a compelling prospect for NFL teams seeking a dynamic playmaker at the quarterback position. With the right guidance and development, he has all the tools to succeed and make a significant impact right away. If the Raiders find themselves in a position where quarterbacks J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix are off the board before they pick at 13 overall, picking Penix Jr. would be practical, although not ideal. Alternatively, if the board dictates the possibility of moving back into the first round via trade, where they would likely have to give up next year's first, an additional draft and or player assets, and a move to draft Penix is also a possibility. Either way, drafting Michael Penix Jr. would be a big win for the front office and should also be considered as such by Raider Nation. Guys, you see what he can do here, man. He's dropping balls right into the basket to these receivers. He's hitting guys, accurate, doing the bow and arrow thing right there, man. This guy is a special prospect, and I really don't care what anybody says about him. He's got, the injuries. He's got all the injury history. He's got all that. Okay, that's great, right? But this guy has been an elite quarterback for 2 years now, arguably better than Caleb Williams. I think that he has overcame a lot of trials and tribulations and has shown some resiliency as far as, overcoming those injuries and coming back and being special. Now, despite the injuries, despite the 2 ACL injuries, he went out there and ran a 4.46. That has to count for something. I think that people are getting blinded by, his injury history and not looking at the greatness that Michael Penix does on the field, the stuff that the intangibles, him. Yeah. And a lot of people want to say that, his mechanics are a little bit off, but that's, people look at left-handed quarterbacks and already want to say that, their mechanics look off because it just looks unorthodox when a left-handed quarterback throws the ball. So I think that all of us should go in there with more of a keen eye and really give this guy a chance. Now, draft-wise, right? The board is the board. Everybody wants to say it's going to be a reach to get Michael Penix at 13, but it's not a reach if these quarterbacks are going off the board at the time. You got to look at trends, right? If you're the Raiders and you're looking at number 13 overall, and you're looking at 5 quarterbacks already off the board, including a Bo Nix possibly, or even 4 quarterbacks off the board at that time, J.J. McCarthy, there's 4 quarterbacks that might be possibly getting picked in the top 10. There's no way to go but up as far as Michael Penix's draft stock at this point after running a 4.46 and showing, elite passing skills in the combine, showing that he can do the same thing in the Senior Bowl. So if the Raiders are at 13, depending on where that board is going, picking Penix at 13 might be the move. and I don't see it as a reach. Now, if the board dictates for you to move back and pick Penix later on, like you say you pick a 13th overall pick and it's something different, like you pick a right tackle or you pick a cornerback, one of these corners that I've mentioned previously on previous episodes, or somebody best available, say you pick them at 13 overall, then the option could also be, let's use the 2025 first round pick and maybe some package some players and or mid to late round picks and move back into the first round and get our guy. But me personally, if I had to guess, I'm going to say that Michael Penix is going to be a hot commodity coming into this draft, especially after running a 4.46. He's a possible dual threat type of quarterback, and I don't mean dual threat like we think Lamar Jackson dual threat. I'm seeing a dual threat like a Patrick Mahomes type of guy, except more discipline in the pocket. Now, when he's under pressure, okay, I'll give you that. He doesn't. He gets a little bit under pressure and he doesn't look good when he's under duress, right? But in defense, right? Who does at this point, right? These quarterbacks, they don't want to get hit, and a lot of the times they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to look for a running lane if you have the ability to do so, or get rid of the football and throw an interception, or just shrimp up and take a sack, just like the quarterback we have currently with Aiden O'Connell. So you guys make the choice. Do you want a guy that'll give you a chance if under duress, or do you want a guy that's going to stat you in the pocket and when there's pressure, he's going to shrimp up? Now, you guys let me know, and you guys can be the judge of that one. But I'll tell you what, I'm not playing games with picking a quarterback if he's at number 13. I say we take Michael Penix Jr., and if it's considered a reach by the experts or by the naysayers who say that his injury history is a problem, we got to take a risk somewhere at this point. We need a quarterback. So let's get into the PFF grades. I want to talk about the PFF grades for you guys. We're going to look at his all 6 years in college, starting with the Indiana in 2018. His offensive PFF grade was a 72.9. His pass grade was 73.4. Run grade 60.7. And this is his freshman year. He had one touchdown, not many plays, not many games, not many snaps, and not many the stat line is a little bit. He didn't play much. So one touchdown, 61.8% completion percentage, but then he comes out his sophomore year and 160 attempts out of 109 completions. And this is in 2019. So this is the year he got hurt, and he had 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, over 1,300 yards, 84 offensive grade, 83.5 pass grade, and a 64 run grade. So not bad for somebody who, can't, who has problems with, being mobile. And this is a sophomore year, right? So we look into the 2020 season. This is when I started noticing Michael Penix Jr., particularly in that Ohio State game. Now, at the time in 2020, Ohio State was ranked number 3, and Indiana went on the road to play them and Indiana in Ohio State. And Indiana was ranked 9th at the time. They were undefeated, and Michael Penix Jr. was leading the way. I don't know if you guys knew that, but he had the University of Indiana as a top 10 team at some point. That year, before he got hurt, he had 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,645 passing yards, 220 attempts, 124 completions. So his completion percentage wasn't great, but his offensive PFF grade, 82.9, pretty good. Pass grade, 80.9. Run grade, 66.3, which is pretty dang good for a quarterback. So in 2021, with Indiana shortened season, he had 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I think maybe it was a personnel issue, or maybe he didn't have enough guys with him. But and then he dealt with that shoulder injury, and then he ended up leaving Indiana after that year. But the final 2 years with Washington, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in 2022, 87.9 offensive grade, 88.1 pass grade, and a 54 run grade. So he wasn't asked to do much running that first year with Washington. And then his Heisman runner-up year, he throws for 4,906 yards, 36 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a 91.1 offensive grade, a 90.5 pass grade, and a career best 67.9 run grade. So it seems like he has progressed and learned how to play the quarterback position and learned how to go take off when is needed. And it shows on his stats that he was a lot more disciplined in staying in the pocket and taking off when he needed to. 65.5% completion percentage, not too bad. I think it's pretty. I think that he probably should have won the Heisman that year, but that's just me. Especially you take your team to the national championship. So advanced stats. I'm not going to bore you guys too much with the advanced stats, but deep yards, he led the nation in deep yards at 1,787 yards. He was 12th in the nation screen yards, a running gun type of offense. So that's what you got from that. 106.7 pass rating in 2023. Excellent stats right there. Versus Texas in the national semifinal game, he had a 93.5 overall PFF grade, and he looked unstoppable. He looked like a top 5, maybe even top number 1 quarterback in this class against the University of Texas, who had a stout defense. So that's nothing to scoff at. So guys, just in context, all these numbers I'm shooting at you is that this is a guy who, despite the injuries, like I said, he has progressed and gotten better over the years. And he's paid his dues. He's took his bumps and bruises. And I think that with great protection and him being more smart at playing the quarterback position, he's going to be something special in this league. Now, draft position. A lot of experts have him one thing. A lot of people have him another thing. I'm going to share with you what a lot of these experts have him at. I'm going to add that. There you go. So you look at this, the numbers, this is a chart from NFLDraftBuzz.com. Shout out to them. You could see where the chart, it really fluctuates. There's a lot of fluctuation, right? Draft Buzz have him at 12 overall. So this is what we're looking at. The numbers that you're looking at is the overall pick, where the overall pick number that is listed, right? And the ones at the bottom are the different publications that pretty much rated him. So you have the publications at the bottom where they rated him and the overall draft position. So the average of all those overall rank, they have him at 43.6, which is that pretty much lands us in the second round. Right at 44, I believe we have the 44th overall pick. So, you find an average of all these, they have him at 44. I think that's way too high. He's a first round quarterback in my opinion. The position rank, they have him as the 6th best quarterback in this class, which is ridiculous to me. But look at Draft Buzz right here. They have him at 12 overall. But then you have, on the whole opposite end of the spectrum, you have ESPN. Good old ESPN has him at 111th overall as of March 13th of 2024, not too long ago. That is ridiculous. If you really wanted to look at kind of the median numbers of this chart, you got somewhat in between 28 and 32, a late first round pick. So sorry about that. In context, if we were to find a median of that chart, we could say that, excuse me, we could say that he's going to be a late first round pick. And then now, if that's the case, we use our number 13 pick to get whatever we're going to get, corner, left tackle, whatever, and then move back into the first, like I said, with maybe a 2025 first round pick and some change. But we'll see. Stay tuned for that one, guys. What do you think about the full analysis of Michael Penix Jr.? I want to hear, do you guys think he's getting a raw deal? Do you guys not buy into his stock? Are you guys still on the whole, injury history thing and not giving him a chance at all? I want to hear from you guys in the chat, man. I know this one's going to be a controversial topic. Michael Penix Jr., as soon as you bring up his name, everybody on Twitter, everybody on social media wants to, especially the naysayers, they want to say something against Michael Penix Jr. and his draft stock. So I want to hear from what you guys think about it. But guys, that is the show, day 4, 30 days, 30 prospects, Michael Penix Jr. Let me know what you think. Like I said, hey, and you guys have a good one. Peace out.
Have they ever seen another like me, living giant type, step in your house and put my head on your ceiling? Climbed out of the bottomless pit to let the truth slip and slide off my tongue and swine dive off my lips. No longer holding on, I'm tired of applying the grip. Forget the fancy shiny rappers, I'm supplying the gifts.